What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will here, back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a soundbar, and this soundbar is from Pheanoo. This is the Pheanoo P27 Soundbar with subwoofer. This is a 2.1 channel soundbar, which means there are two speakers and then one sub with the system. So the two speakers are 2.75 inch drivers, and they are located in the front of the soundbar. The sub has a 5.25 inch driver, which is rated at 60 watts, and the two tiny speakers in front of the soundbar are rated at 30 watts each. So in total, this is a 120 watt system. This soundbar has various amounts of connections. It has Bluetooth 5.0, it has HDMI ARC, it has the optical, and it has RCA to aux, and then it also has a USB port on the side of the soundbar. So inside the box, you get a pair of gloves to handle it since it's a glossy material on the soundbar. You get these foam pads for mounting if you decide to mount it anywhere. You get an RCA to aux cable. You also get an optical cable, some mounting screws. You get an HDMI cable for the HDMI ARC capability. And then the cool thing about it too, you also get a mounting template just in case you want to mount it on the wall and you want it straight. They provide that for you inside the box. And then obviously you have the remote control, which has various amounts of controls. You can control the treble, you can control the bass, obviously volume up or down, inputs, you can mute. You can also use it for pairing for Bluetooth. And you also have a number of presets on there. You have music, news, movies, and then 3D audio. As I mentioned before, this soundbar has a lot of options for you just in case you have different kinds of TV, an older TV or a newer TV, but everything inside the box is included for whatever TV setup you might have. So I guess the most important part of this is the sound test. And in this sound test, I had a shotgun mic pointed at the soundbar about a couple feet away, and this is gonna grab the best sounding experience that I can offer. I recommend wearing headphones for this. Obviously, it's not gonna sound as nice as if you were sitting directly in front of it, but I tried my best. Again, the best experience you're gonna get with this sound is wearing headphones versus, listening to it on your phone or computer speakers or whatever the case may be. So here's a sound test. So that's it for the sound test. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I thought it sounded pretty great sitting in the room and listening to that. So let's go over a couple of pros of this soundbar. So I think the first pro is the price. I don't know if I mentioned it before earlier in the video, but this is priced at $100 and you get a pretty good deal for this for $100. It sounds great. You know, based off the sound test, it sounded pretty good, but in the room itself, it sounds great. And on the sound test, I had it set to movie, and that preset is really, really good. I did a couple minor tweaks on there to kind of increase the bass and the treble as well. But overall, out of the box, you just plug and play. It sounds really, really good. Another pro for me is also the multiple options for inputs. It has all the cables you need inside the box. This soundbar is good for anyone with any kind of TV, older or newer. In my case, I use HDMI ARC to connect my soundbar, and it sounds really, really good. I needed an upgrade from my previous soundbar, which was really, really old. A cheap one from Best Buy, an Insignia brand. I don't even remember the model number or anything like that, but I needed the upgrade, and this one definitely serves my purpose. It sounds really, really great via HDMI ARC. Another pro for me also is I like the low profile design. I don't expect the soundbar to be, you know, extravagant, have like pretty colors or anything. I want it to blend into my system, and which it does. I have a TV stand, so I just have it sitting there on the front of the TV, and I have the sub on the side as well. And the sub is a nice design as well. I have it sitting on a foam pad to reduce any types of vibrations that it might displace or anything like that. I live in an apartment, so I have people living underneath me, so I bought that foam pad to just kind of decrease the vibrations that it might cause. Without the pad, you could definitely hear the shaking of the apartment, and I didn't want to disturb the people underneath me. I'll have a link in the description of that pad below, just in case you guys live in an apartment as well and you just kind of want to reduce the vibrations and have a nice deeper bass sound. Another pro also is the remote control. It's a nice remote control with various amounts of options, various amounts of presets, and you can control literally anything via the remote control, which is nice. Increase the treble, increase the bass, whatever you'd like to do with it. The controller is really nice. It offers a lot of flexibility for however you want to set up the sound on the soundbar. Another pro also, the presets work really, really great. I probably mentioned that before a little bit, but if you don't want to tweak any of the inputs or the treble or the bass, hit a preset and it works just fine. It sounds really great. And the last pro for me is the bass. It's heavy, it sounds great. I don't have it set to full because I live in an apartment, but when I was testing it with various other types of media, it's very punchy, very clear. It sounds great. As for the cons, I only have a couple of them. They're kind of nitpicky, but I feel like for some people it might be a deal breaker. The first con for me is that the sub is wired instead of wireless. You have to hook it up directly into the soundbar on the back side of it. There's no wireless capability for the soundbar, so depending on your setup, you can't move the soundbar to a different location, say behind the couch or to the side of your couch, or however you like your sub to be placed. Mine is next to the TV since the cable is, you know, not very long. But that's for me is the ideal placement for the sub anyways. But for those that are looking for a wireless sub setup for you to be able to freely put it wherever you'd like, this soundbar setup doesn't offer that, unfortunately. A con, not a huge one for me, but I know it would be a big con for some people. Another con, again, a nitpicky one, major nitpick, is the lights in the front. I haven't figured out a way to turn off the lights. I don't think there is a way to turn off the lights, but I wish the lights just turned off. When I first bought it and I used it, it was slightly distracting, but I kind of got over it after a couple days. Not even, just like after the day. Obviously, I'm looking at the screen to watch the TV or a movie or whatever I'm watching. I just wish it turned off. It does dim slightly when you use it to like higher the volume or anything. It brightens up a little bit so you can see it, but then it dims, but it doesn't dim that well. It dims just enough for you to not be super distracted by it, but since I notice it, I catch myself looking at it. Again, not a huge deal, super nitpicky. I could probably cover it if I wanted to, but I think it would look really tacky. Not a huge deal for me, but some people might find it a deal breaker. But I guess my overall impressions of the soundbar, I mean, for $100, you get a lot for your money. You get a nice sounding soundbar, good bass, multiple inputs for any type of TV you might have, and it just works right out of the box. Fits with any setup, blends right in, really nice, really good sounding soundbar. Anyways, that concludes the video. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. But until the next one, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.